What's up, everybody? Hey, it's Adam again. Adam's Days here. So I'm currently with my good friend Barry, and we're out on a drive, a cruise right now, sitting in a neighborhood nearby where my grandma used to live, just cruising around. And this will be my first real vlog, so I'm super happy about that. And so let's just get to this. I think that what I want to do today is story time. Let's see here. A little bit about myself. I'm 22 years old right now. That's crazy. and basically I lived in a trailer park and manufactured home until I was about 9 years old, with my mom, my dad, and my sister. And we'll start story time off with a little fire confession, I guess. Basically, I had a little forest area that my friends and I would go to and hang out. And in this forest area, my neighbor was a very hard kid to hang out with. My parents actually ended up banning me from hanging out with him because he was such a bad influence. This kid went to the forest with me. Me and my friends and I went to this forest and we hung out. And while we were hanging out, this kid thought it'd be a great idea to set this mattress on fire. He would take the foam and he would set the foam on fire on this mattress. And he's all like, look. And this kid has a past record of burning his own house down. And he's sitting here still playing with fire. And so he sets this foam on fire. And what is it, the next day, I'm out riding my scooter, just, playing around. And I see smoke coming out of the forest. And I'm like, shit, it's on fire. So I ran over to the forest and I look, and there's just flames bellowing through. And I run home as fast as I can, and I yell my dad to call 911. There's a fire, and the neighbors, start getting aware, and the fire department takes forever to show up. But they finally do with like 6 trucks at the same time. And they came from the wrong direction. They could have came down the hill and made it so much faster. No, they took the long way. They took a right turn. They followed it all the way down the side and then came back around to it. And they end up putting the fire out. Those rims were so cool. I wish I could show you them. They were so cool. I probably can if the light goes green for them. But oh, look, there they are. They're right there. Those are so cool. Volkswagen Jetta. I actually wanted one of those when I was a little kid. Never got one. But they came over, they put the fire out. They basically, everything that was in the forest that we had in there, because it was our little hangout spot, was destroyed. It was taken away, thrown in the trash. And yeah, it was a fire. And so basically after that day, I was no longer allowed to hang out with this kid, which was fine because he was a bully. He didn't really treat me right. He loved hurting me. So it was a good choice of my parents. I thumbs up that one. There was this one time I was hanging out in the same kind of area. I was probably like 6-7 years old, and I didn't know it was a bad thing at the time, but my neighbor down the road and around the corner had just paved his new driveway. And me as a kid, I put a footprint on the driveway, and I thought it was the most magical thing because I've always walked on driveways and never left a footprint. So when I left a footprint, I was like, wow, that's so cool. You know what I did? I left another footprint. I left about 30 footprints, and I rode my bike on it. Don't tell anyone. No. Yeah. I didn't make a nice, smart decision there, but we made a nice design in the driveway. We were running around, just enjoying this, like, leaving these trails in the driveway, and I didn't know it was a bad thing at the time. Basically, the guy came out and he found these tracks, and then he saw my bicycle, and he comes over and he yells and he goes, "What did you do to my driveway?" And I was like, oh crap, I'm in trouble. Like, that was no good. And he called my dad, and I don't know what happened from there, honestly. I don't know if my parents had to pay for the concrete to be repoured, or if the guy went ahead and paid for it. But basically, yeah, I destroyed this guy's driveway at like 8 years old. 7, 8 years old, just because I thought it was cool. I was like, oh, that's so dope. But yeah, and then let's see here if I have any third one. I remember riding my bicycle down this hill all the time. It was like a 40-degree incline. It was pretty, or sorry, no, well, no, it was pretty steep. It was a hill, and you could bomb that hill so quick. And I had a flat tire at the time, and I wanted to ride my bicycle. And so my neighbor across the street was nice enough to pump up my tire for me. Again, I'm a young kid. I guess it would have been a bad decision had the guy had common sense. But he had this gel, and what this gel is actually meant for is for putting a little in your tire, so that if you were to ever drive into like right into a nail or a piece of glass or something that would pop that tire, it would seal it so that it would not go flat. This guy filled my front tire from flat to full with the gel. I swear this guy, the gel must have been like $12, $15, and he filled my tire with this gel in the front tire too. So I went and I rode this bike, and I rode up to the top of that hill. I didn't give a crap. I rode my bike up there. I was like, first try, no crap given. I will ride this bike down this hill as fast as I can. I did pretty good, all right, for the first 3/4. It was when I had to turn. That's when it went all downhill from there. Basically, when I hit the turn, my tire folded out from under the rim, and I went down immediately. I'm doing a good 30 miles an hour, maybe even a little bit more. Obviously, I don't know how fast I was going, but I tore my elbow so bad. I don't even remember what it looked like. I just know that it was not good, and my mother told me that she heard the screams of my pain from my house, from where I lived, and I was at the top of the hill. Like, imagine that. That's crazy. My mom's got some good ears, because recent times when I was living with my mom back in the day, back when I was in high school, my friend got hurt on his bike, and he was crying so loud, and it was like 2 blocks away, and my mom goes, I swore I heard him. She's got some hearing for cries, but yeah, I got hurt bad that day. That is a slammed BMW. But yeah, no bueno. Don't fill your tires. Don't fill children's tires with air, with like this sealant stuff. Who doesn't have the common sense to do that? Like, air goes in tires, and you filled my tire with a solid. Speechless. But yeah, bad times. Stories of a great time. My backyard I ruined my backyard as a little kid. I destroyed it. I put a big hole in the ground because I thought it was cool that I was digging a hole. And so I found this little hole digger in my shed, and I was like, that's so cool. You spin it into the ground, and the more you spin it, the deeper it goes. And this thing's like a good 8 feet tall total, and you can dig the hole as deep as you want, really. And so I dug this hole for like good 4 feet into the ground, if that. And so my bike was my life back then, obviously, because I'm totally a car guy right now. But I made a jump out of whatever I could find, and I jumped that hole with my bike and destroyed my backyard, because every time I landed, I would skid, turn, ground was wet. I put water in the hole. I got so muddy. I played in the mud hole, and I got covered in mud from head to toe. And I knocked on my door because I didn't want to walk in. I didn't want to walk in all muddy. I wanted someone to help me. And at least I knew that much, because if I would have walked in that front door as muddy and wet as I was, I'd have been in trouble. Worse than I was. So my grandfather opens the door, and he sees me muddy from head to toe, and he's so angry because he's taking care of me and I'm all just covered. And so he starts a bath, and he throws me in the bath, and I'm all washing up. The water's turning all brown, and it was good times. I played some jokes on my grandpa back then. I had this finger that you would use for like Halloween pranks, and it had a cut going all the way up the nail through the skin. And basically, I knocked on my grandfather's door while he was in his room, and I was making food for myself. And when I knocked on the door, I said, my grandfather, I was like, I hurt myself. And he goes, are you okay? And so I put this little finger under the door, and he goes crazy. He's just flipping out, like, oh my goodness, this guy is just like, he's trying to get up and out of bed as fast as he can. He sees like this little red cut going down the finger, and then he comes out of the room, and he's like, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm like, oh, it's just a joke. See, it was the finger. It was a little finger. And I was cruel to my grandpa. Ooh. But I love that guy. He's amazing. I was a brat little kid. I lost a lot of toys, not by losing them myself, by not cleaning my room properly and getting them shipped to Goodwill. My favorite toys got shipped to Goodwill. I don't think I cared after that. I think I was like, okay, my race car is gone. And for my birthday, this family member that I don't speak with anymore took my my pedal car. And this wasn't like a little pedal car. This was a tractor, probably a good 4 feet tall. And you could, the center of the pedal car steers, and you just had your pedals that power the front wheels and your steering. And I love that thing. I wore the wheels down to nothing. And for my birthday, all I can remember was walking out to the street and watching it being loaded up into the back end of a station wagon, driving away. I was told by my parents and by the person who apparently took it that it was getting repaired and was going to be given back to me. That was a lie. That was such a lie. That was my favorite thing in the world, ripped away from me as a little kid. Crazy days. But you know what? That's not much I could do about it. I turned out fine. I've had 30 cars. I think I made up for it. I didn't let it stop me. I just rode my bicycle. And just kept having fun. Enjoyed it. And then we moved out when I was 9 into a a 2-story house. For the very first time, I got my room on the 2nd floor. So we're at about 15 minutes now. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut this, and because I don't want it to be too long, and I'll start video number 2 talking about my 2nd house. So if you wanna click on over there, beautiful. But yes, thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like this video, and I will see you all again very shortly. Bye bye. Bye bye.